So we are about to embark on a girls trip to the farm. We already went apple picking, and I looked up one of the farms that we visit, and I noticed that they have one of the apples that we didn't get last week, and it's one of our favorite crispin apples. It's called the Shizuka. So we're gonna head up to the farm to get some apples today, just me and her. And she actually wanted us to match today, so we're wearing the same sweater. She's like, Mom, can we match today? I'm like, okay, fine. So it's pretty cool. And she's actually having an apple from the apples we picked last week from the other farm.
It's good.
I'm sure she's been eating apples, so you know, her tummy is happy. Anyways, we're gonna head up to the farm. We got a ways to go. It's probably about an hour and 10 minutes drive. But we're heading up there to grab some apples. So it's gonna be a pretty busy day today, but 1 hour later we are here. The traffic wasn't bad at all.
You have arrived.
Everybody and their mama is here today. Alright, we are here. It's not too crazy, which is good. Maybe because it's early in the day. Bunch of cars all over. So everybody is here. Alright, we gotta go get tickets and then do they have corn today. We get a corn in the back. We get a corn when we come back. Excuse me. Let's get a ticket window. And we're heading past the corn stand to head over here where we can find the pumpkin patch and other fun attractions and activities. There are farm animals here that the kids enjoy. So it's a full day of fun family activities here on this farm. Now we head into the wagon ride that's going to take us to the orchard so we can get in the rows and get our apples. And like I said, we're only getting one variety today, pretty much. Sure.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Very well. Thanks for coming, hon.
Thank you so much.
Take that. Whoop, got it.
Yep. So it's about 11 a.m. And the good thing about coming this early is that there's no lines. You walk right up to the counter and there's no lines waiting. Even at the wagon, usually there's a line and you wait for the wagon to come, but the wagon is actually waiting for us today. And it's not as busy as yet, so it's a good thing to come out early. Look at all those pumpkins.
Keep hands, feet, arms, legs, heads inside the wagon at all times. There is also no standing on the wagon. You must stay seated the entire remainder of the ride out to the orchard. Thank you guys so much, and I hope you enjoy your apple picking experience with us today.
So the kids with their families are out here choosing their pumpkins to put up their fall decor, to make their jack-o'-lanterns and all that fun stuff that families do every year. And they have all different varieties of pumpkins. So they're thickly packed into this pumpkin patch, and I'm gonna zoom in so you can see how many pumpkins there are. Look at that, guys, all different shapes, colors and sizes. So kids are gonna have fun. And then on our way, it's a bumpy ride, so excuse the jumping around of the camera. Over here we have the flower patch where people can go in and cut their fresh cut flowers and go pay for it and make their bouquets, different annual flowers they have here. It's really thick in there and it's beautiful also. The camera doesn't do it any justice. If you get in there, you would enjoy just nature. The bees and the pollinators are buzzing. There's also a sunflower patch right here. It's pretty much picked out, but there are still some sunflowers left, as you can see right here. So there's a whole lot you can do here on this farm, which is very fun and enjoyable. It's really great when you can be in the outdoors enjoying this time out here in nature. So this is always a fun experience for us, no matter how much we do it. Also on the farm, I noticed the way they take care of the trees, the way they prune them. And these are pretty much all dwarf varieties, obviously. And they prune them to the way they want them to grow. And so I pay attention to all that and I take notes so that way I can do the same with my fruit trees. So it's also a learning experience for me because I pay attention and I notice how they are taking care of their trees. I also noticed that they have put the white paint, I would call it paint, I'm not sure what it is, to deter the bugs from boring into the bark of the trees, damaging it. Look at all these young plants they have here, all these apples. I'm not sure if they're already picked out or if they're newly bearing trees or so.
Apple orchard. Today we're picking wherever you see an orange cone in the ground. They're kind of spread out, so there's going to be some behind the tractor, to the side of the tractor, in front of the tractor. Everything is labeled though, so you won't know which variety of apple you're picking. Lift and twist the apples, don't pull on them. Throw your cores away in the trash if you do sample. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Enjoy your time.
And off we go into the orchard and we are going to find the variety that we're looking for. We may get a couple in a different variety, but not much, just probably a couple or 3 or 4. But we're here specifically for one variety of apple that we really do enjoy. And you can make pies with it, you can eat it nice and fresh, you can use it for baking, for making applesauce. It's such a great multi-use apple and it stores really well. And here it is, it's a Shizuka apple, and I do have one of these at home planted in ground. It's a delicious, sweeter variety crispin apple. Flavorful, crunchy. Oh yeah, I'm excited to fill my bag up with these apples. And I'm looking for the bigger ones. They ripen with a blush and it's very sweet. The flesh is firm and it's just juicy and sweet with a little tart. Just a really nice crunchy mix of flesh. So we're going to get in there and grab our apples. We're going to fill this bag up. Of course, we're going to have a couple to eat in here while we're here. And we'll enjoy our day just picking our bag full.
You're not as big. Let's look for the bigger ones. See, like this one? No. This is what you want in your bag. It has a nice blush on it too.
So now my one bag is full and this is a half bushel, I believe. And we are going to head out of the orchard and get over to the farm stand and see what else is going on over there. See what goodies are available. And I'm trying to leave, but I'm still looking for apples. I don't know why. I have a little room at the top of the bag for a different variety that I'm looking for. I'm just going to get like 4 of those because hubby likes that variety. And guys, here I'm also noticing there's a piece of material here at the bottom of this tree, and I'm pretty sure it's a deter, some type of a rodent or tree rat or whatever you want to call it, squirrel, beaver, you name it. And it's a plastic material and it's at the bottom of all of these trees right here that are planted in the orchard. So I'm also paying attention to that. And that's how they're caring for their trees with success. So I can incorporate that in the way that I'm growing and taking care of my fruit trees likewise. I noticed that the white substance is not on those apple trees, but I noticed that the barrier right there, that plastic mesh, is at the bottom of the apple trees. The ones that I saw with the white paint on it, those were peach trees. So I'm paying attention to all that and seeing what's going on. Oh, this mesh here fell off that tree, I guess. It probably wasn't fastened properly. And what I also noticed is that these trees are small, and that was some old wood, but look at that new growth. It's already producing apples, and this thing ain't nothing but 3-4 feet tall, if all that, but it's producing. So I'm paying attention to all that too. I'm paying attention to the varieties and the way they're growing their plants in their orchard. It's really a learning experience for me. So I get to educate myself this way when I come and I notice and I get out there and I see what's going on. Now for the long awaited fresh corn. They do? Oh, yeah. Where's the line? Are you guys in the line?
Go ahead first. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Look at all that nice fresh corn from the farm. So we are going to get some corn so we can snack on our way down. Look at all these people here now. This about to start this one up. Second grill or whatever you call it, the corn roaster. They had this one here on when we came, but now they're about to load this one up and turn it on. They usually put butter on it, but we don't want butter on ours. Do you want one or two? Oh, you don't want any? Yeah, I'm getting two.
Here you are, 3/4 of the animals. Have a great day. Hi, how are you today? 2 corn coming up.
Thank you, I'm sorry.
Probably $7.50. On the card? Hi, how are you today?
Good, how are you?
Good. What can I get you from?
2 corns,
2
please.
corn coming up. $7.50.
Indian.
Get that green bun for me, please. You're all set. Have a great rest of your day.
You like them.
2 crying cows.
No butter.
2 plain Janes. Sorry.
Thank you.
1. We do have a $5 minimum on cards. Would you like another corn, a water, a cider, or pay with cash? Water? $5.25.
Close up right there. You know I have to take a bite first. And guys, this farm, you can never come to this farm and not indulge in the fresh baked apple crisp with fresh homemade vanilla ice cream and some whipped cream. Yum! So, all in all, we did have a great apple picking experience. As usual, we were able to grab some apple cider donuts, freshly made, and also some local unfiltered raw honey from Wildflowers, and this is not produced at the farm location. I also purchased some creamed honey and of course some apple cider. Now that the farm fun is over, I am here in my kitchen making this applesauce so we can can it up and preserve it for future use. And this batch here I'm making is seasoned with some organic ground cinnamon and my own homemade vanilla extract. Now I like my applesauce nice and thick, so I don't add any water to this. This is all apples right here. Now that the applesauce is done, I'm gonna grab my jars. I have my lids, bands, and jars already sterilized here. I'm gonna put them on this towel I have on the counter, and this size is a half pint. Really good snack size. Once you grab one, you pop it open, it's done. So I'm gonna line all my jars up, and I add a half teaspoon of the lemon juice in the pint size jars, which is gonna promote the acidity of the contents of the jar because I'm using the hot water bath cannon method here to preserve these applesauce. And this is my second batch of applesauce that I'm making and canning because we do a lot of apple picking, so we can actually preserve our applesauce and have it as healthier snacks that we can use during the winter months. Now I'm going to ladle this in, and it smells so good, guys. And I am going to have some warm applesauce today. I'm going to put aside a little bit so I can enjoy. It's really delicious. All the flavors in there, the apples were nice and freshly picked, so that's even better. For me, when preserving foods, freshness is key. I don't let my food sit around. Man, I'm telling you, it's always work when you're preserving food. And this stores up really well for a few years. I've done it before. I'm not telling you that you should incorporate my practice, but I'm telling you I can store this up for quite a while and it'll be perfectly fine. I've done it before. Look at that thick, delicious goodness in there, and the aroma, guys, will definitely make. So I filled in the jars, leaving about a 1/2 inch head space for expansion. And now I'm going to get my white distilled vinegar and a napkin and simply clean the rims of these jars before I place the lids and bands on them. That way we leave no room for bacteria to grow and the safety of our food is not compromised. Now I'm going to grab the debubbler and I'm going to release any bubbles that might be present in the jars. So I'm going to go around to every jar and do that before I put the lid on it. So I'm going to first debubble the jars, then I'm going to clean the rims of the jars with the white distilled vinegar. Then I'm going to put the lid safely using the magnet at the other end of the debubbler. And I'm going to place the lids on the jar. Then I'm going to place the bands on the jar and tighten it finger tight. Now that the lids and bands are on the jars, I'm going to load it up into the canning basket right here. And with these 1/2 pint size jars, I usually double the layer or sometimes triple it whenever I have a large batch of cans to process. I also adjust the canning time and I allow it to can a little bit longer because it's a heavier load. Now, whenever I'm canning, I always have my canner going and I leave it on low. So the water is already prepared and ready to go. And then I adjust the flame once I place the cans in the canner. These cans here were processed for 25 to 30 minutes, give or take. Then I turn the flame off and I let it sit for about 5 or 10 minutes. And then I remove the cans from the jar and I place it right here on this towel that I have on the counter and I let it sit overnight. Now, the good thing about this whole entire process for me from farm to table is that first of all, I was able to get outdoors and enjoy nature for a bit. I was able to buy local and support local. I was able to come home and make this applesauce, put whatever I wanted to put in it. I was able to maintain my canning skills and to enjoy this lifestyle of gathering and preserving to feed my family. So all in all, it's a win-win. Everybody won, and here, as you can see, I'm labeling these, right? And this is one of the first batches that I did. So I canned this batch yesterday and now today I have a second batch. And so I'm able to actually store up food for my family's use. And I can all sorts of things. You don't have to go to the farm if you're not into that type of stuff. But I also grow a diverse variety of food that I also can. So certain things I'm not able to grow in that year, I find a reliable source that I can gather it, I can purchase it and prepare it for canning. And let me just show you guys, I get my money's worth. So this is not going to go to waste. I'm actually going to blend this up and extract the juice from it. I could have juiced it, but I wanted to add a little water in it. And I'm going to filter it through this sieve right here, extracting that good flavor that's left from the apple skins and core. Then I add this liquid to a pot and I add some cinnamon pieces and whole cloves in there. Then I bring it to a rolling boil. Then when it starts boiling, I lower the flame. I let it go for another 20 minutes or so, and then I turn it off and let it cool. So this here, you can drink it either hot or cold or warm, whatever you choose, whatever your preference. Either way, it's delicious. No added sugar or anything like that. Just the flavor of the apples and the spices in there. Now here I have the leftover pulp and it's gonna go to the chickens. And if I didn't use that to make a drink, it would definitely go towards making apple cider vinegar. But because I'm stocked up, the chickens are gonna have fun with this. I hope you enjoyed this video and also the scenes at the farm. Thank you all for coming and for all your support. I hope you have a blessed and wonderful day. Thanks again, and I'll see you on the next video.